Hey everyone, State Representative Emanuel Chris Welch here. Welcome to my Tuesday evening Facebook Live conversation. I am really excited about tonight's conversation because I am joined by some high school students from Proviso Math and Science Academy. If you guys know me and follow me, you know Proviso Math and Science Academy is very near and dear to me because I spent 12 years on the Proviso High School Board from 2001 to 2013. And 10 of those years, I was the board chair. And one of my passions was getting the Proviso Math and Science Academy up and running. We have three fantastic high schools in Proviso Township High School District 209, Proviso East, Proviso West, and now the Math and Science Academy, which is a blue ribbon high school. Really proud that the Proviso Math and Science Academy is flourishing, and we have some of their best and brightest minds that you're going to hear tonight. So feel free to share this conversation in your Facebook feed. I think you're going to be impressed with these students here and what they have to say, because I've enjoyed getting to know them and meeting them and talking to them. So I thought you should get to know them too. So we're going to go around and have them introduce themselves to you. We're going to start with Naya. Naya, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Naya Landing. I attend Proviso Math and Science Academy, um, love helping out and, in the community and stuff like that. So that's one of our main focus as the Justice Trooper. So I'm glad to be a part of the team that we have now. So
Well, welcome, Naya. Thank you for being here tonight. Ivoryana Neal, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us a little about yourself.
That's good. Hi, I'm Ivoryana Neal. I am an incoming senior at Proviso Math and Science Academy. I am also a Justice Trooper, and I enjoy helping the community out and mentoring to any who needs help. I'm very active in trying to help others as well as help myself. So if I can find a way to network and get connections with people, I would definitely do so.
And we also have Maya and Darnell. Maya and Darnell, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, guys.
All right, I'm Maya. Maya Hill. I go to Proviso Math and Science Academy, and I'm going to be a rising senior as well. I'm also a justice trooper, and my favorite thing that we do together is the food drives that we go to. We help a lot of the community in Proviso, so that's one of my favorite things that we all do together.
Hi,
Darnell,
yo. My name is Darnell Parker. I just graduated from Proviso Math and Science Academy, so I'm officially an alumni. I'm an incoming
congratulations.
freshman. Thank you so much. I'm an incoming freshman going to Lansing University in Oklahoma, which is an HBCU in the fall. As a justice trooper, one of my favorite things that we do as a group is go out to protest. We've been to at least 7 protests in the past 2 months, so it's really exciting, and we really feel, that we're making a difference in the world.
So all of you guys have said that you're happy to be a part of the Justice Troopers. Why don't you, Ariana, tell us a little bit about the Justice Troopers? How did you guys come together as a group? How did you come up with the name? I love the name Justice Troopers. Tell us about that.
Thank you. Okay, so first we started off as freedom fighters, but that name was already taken. So we decided to come up with something more original that, could we could relate to more. So we came up with Justice Troopers. And a Justice Trooper is a young individual, a young person who takes the initiative to fight back systemic racism. And by saying that, that could be getting a job in an office that you don't see African Americans or minorities, or just helping the community in places that you wouldn't see people helping out other people, or even just taking the initiative to go to protest or make your own protest that would, benefit the others, the youth around the community. And me and Maya decided to just make Justice Troopers open to anyone. Anyone can join. We don't discriminate. We don't tell who cannot join. Everyone is welcome to join. But me and Maya are basically the CEOs of Justice Troopers.
The CEOs. I love it. I love it. Maya, as the co-CEO of the Justice Troopers, can you tell us when were you guys formed? Was this before or after the murder of George Floyd?
Um, I would say it was before the murder of George Floyd because me and Ivory talked about during our school year about how we always wanted to really start this club and start this organization, but we never felt like everybody was ready to dive into the Justice Troopers and what we wanted to figure out and have our demands for. So after George Floyd was killed, we took advantage of the people and how they felt like they needed to get educated. So we felt like, well, if you join Justice Troopers, you can get educated and help out the community. So it was good.
Hey, Darnell, I'm going to ask you a question specific about the George Floyd murder. Everyone has seen that 8 minutes and 46 seconds of the officer's knee on George Floyd's neck. I assume you've seen that video as well. As a young black man headed to college in Oklahoma, what was your feeling when you saw that video, and what did that make you want to do as a member of the Justice Troopers?
Well, okay, when I saw the video and I've seen it probably multiple times, it's hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie because as a black man, he was one. I think he was unarmed. If I'm not mistaken, but it's just the fact that he was saying he can't breathe, and they just deliberately like did not listen to him. It's just ridiculous of how the a bad police officer could just treat somebody so poorly just because of the fact that he has a badge on his chest. And I did most definitely think about my future after that video. And like for me, I just have to not really like show that I'm a threat. So I have to show that I'm myself. One of the caring people. I'm just African American. So some people might be intimidated by my color. So I have to make sure that my character is put out first so that people can't like, fear me, because that's the last thing that I need to do is try to go down to a place that I'm not familiar with and get stopped by police. I don't know if I'm gonna get a phone call. My mom will get a phone call saying that I'm no longer alive. So it's hard to really put my mind just into it, but it's crazy. Just got to keep my head up high.
Keep your head up, my friend. Naya, I'm assuming you've seen the video as well. Tell us your reaction when you saw it. I'm gonna ask Ariana and Maya your reactions as well. Naya.
Um, my first initiative when I saw the video, I was very angry. Um, I feel like a lot of people do feel the emotion behind, not even knowing this person, but knowing that they had to go through something like that is very traumatizing for one, for me, I guess. And you know, we're tired of having to see this multiple times and things not really changing the way that they should. And, with the group that we have formed, any help that we can do to try to, fix or find a solution to these problems that, we'll be first to help or try to do anything we can. But um, video wise, I was very hurt and I was very emotional. Um, and it's the fact that you don't even have to know this person to feel for them having somebody's knee on their neck, not even being able to breathe for 8 minutes and 46 seconds is very disheartening. And I just feel like that person is just heartless at this point. So I was
Hi,
very, yeah, I was disgusted.
Ariana.
So the first thing I thought of was Eric Gardner because this is like a recap of what happened. And it's just saddening that, people with a badge think that it's okay that they can just treat any person, not just any person of color, but just because you have a badge that you can, be mean or not take into consideration that people actually can't breathe. Not that they're resisting arrest or they're not listening to you, but more so that they have no way of like trying to tell you. And then like you're justifying these murders, they're on camera, and you're justifying it as, oh, he has underlying health conditions, or um the the commissioners of these police stations are saying, well, these actions were justified, and these officers are not being accountable for what they have done. And that's just very like, it makes you just not trust police in a way, because you don't know if the legal system is tricking you or is it actually justified. You don't know. And then there are so many people that are like uneducated to the system, where they don't know what to believe anymore. And I feel like that this incident in general was just, it wasn't a wake up call, but it was that alarm clock that's not going to get snoozed anymore, because people need to understand that this is an ongoing issue and it needs to be addressed. And not just because the nation has woke up and is angry, it's because there's an issue and it needs to be fixed. So that's where I stand on it. I mean, it makes me angry, but you don't want to give the oppressors and people anger, because that's what they want to see. I say my key to it is being educated. If I can get where I need to be to make my name for myself, then I will be okay. And I think I can open a door for many other young people to show them that they will be okay.
I'm so proud of you guys, and appreciate what you're out there doing. Maya, I want to hear your take on this George Floyd video. What was your reaction?
I found it very disheartening because the murder of George Floyd was filmed just because a people could not step in because of the fear that they have of police officers. So because of that fear of a police officer, George Floyd was murdered. And because of that, now we are woken up. But like Ivoryana was saying, it was an alarm clock. So because that murder of George Floyd was even filmed was makes it even worse for me. I think that should be just a wake up call to people that change needs to be happening in the government and in the democracy that we have today. So because of that, I think that the video being actual video of somebody being murdered made me and many others feel like there needed to be change. And because of that, that's why we started the Justice Troopers, because people are so uneducated that they have to watch a video of somebody being murdered just to fight for change and something different in the world.
Everyone, I'm talking to some dynamic, fantastic students from the Proviso Math and Science Academy. They have formed the Justice Troopers, and they are advocates, and they're out in the community organizing and doing a heck of a job of bringing people together in fighting for a cause that they believe in. We're going to talk to them specifically about a project that they're working on next week. But please share this conversation. You want to hear from these four dynamic students of the Proviso Math and Science Academy. They just have so much knowledge and information already. I'm looking forward to them as the future leaders of this community. Um, Before we get into the project that you're working on, I want to ask each of you, though, what has been your experience with police officers? Naya, why don't we start with you and just go around? Have you had experiences with police officers? Has it been positive, negative?
I have had it was actually last year around the same time. Um, we were in a state that's known for, racism, and we were driving to North Carolina, and my cousin had just so happened to be going over the speed limit, and he got stopped. We got stopped, and it was a white police officer. He came to the car, and he was very like hostile when he seen us, and that already had my guard up right there. I was very, vigilant. So, and I turned around and I looked through the window and I see like 7 other cop cars flying down the expressway. And I was scared at that point. I didn't know what was going on. And they had us, it was about like 6 or 7 of us in the car. And they literally had us separated. Like one was in one cop car, the other one in this one, this one, this one. And I just remember like being in the car and it was me, my sister, and my mom. And like it was only thing that was separating us was a giant rifle that was sitting right in between us. And just seeing that in general, like I was, nervous right then and there to seeing it in front of me. But I feel like one thing that was, kind of saving for us, I guess, is because my stepdad is a Mason. So, they were kind of lenient once they found out that he was a Mason. But just the way that they came off kind of aggressive, I didn't know how they were going to react to my stepdad or my cousin, being black men. I didn't know what was going to go on, but they were pretty lenient. But I was still very vigilant. I didn't forget that, not trying to say all of them are bad, but just making sure that I was aware of the situation and making sure nothing, bad could have possibly happened. So.
Absolutely. Brianna, you ever have any experiences with police officers? Positive, negative?
Um, yeah, more so in this neutral. So there's been like situations where, a white police officer will walk up to, the white counterpart, if that was the situation, and ask if they were okay before they asked if we were okay, if something were happening. Or we would be at the gas station and a lady wouldn't let us in because she thought we were going to steal. So she called the police on us. And we were just going to get water balloons. Like we weren't, we're not thugs. We're not, ghetto or anything. We don't try to associate ourselves with those titles because we know the backhand that goes with those things. So we're just kids just going to get some water balloons, and the police officer came off kind of hostile, like, why are you guys in this neighborhood and what are you guys doing? And we were just explaining to them how we were just getting water balloons, and we didn't even end up getting the water balloons. We just end up going back home because we didn't want to end up like Tamir Rice or Michael Brown, just situations where they think that we're doing something that we're not, and all it takes is a phone call and we can end up dead. So with that being said, we just left because we didn't want to put ourselves in a negative, perspective or anything like that. So we just left.
Wow. Maya, Darnell, you guys want to tackle that?
You want to go first?
Sure. I mean, because I'm half white and half black, I feel like I don't have as much. I have white privilege, so I recognize that. I don't think that I had many bad experiences with police officers because they always seem to recognize me as a white person. But at the same time, I do recognize that sometimes the black community has trouble with police officers, and I understand that because even at the Juneteenth protest we were at, there was a man who was advocating for Blue Lives Matter and how people should not be a dummy. So I found that very insulting towards everybody who has been a victim of police brutality. And in that case, the police were kind of like protecting the man and making sure that he wasn't being like um, harassed by the black people that were there. So that was what I just found negative about the police.
Uh, I actually have encountered like me being actually driving and actually getting pulled over. So I've had the whole experience. When basically the way it happened was I was on my way coming back home. I go to Maywood Fine Arts, and I was coming back home from piano lessons. I crossed the intersection. I want to say it was Washington and Fifth Avenue, and I saw a police car, and I kind of pressed the gas a little bit too hard, and I thought that was the reason why he pulled me over, but my lights were out. It was a small thing, but I got pulled over for that. So when he told me, uh, you know, I was just like, oh, good, it's nothing too serious. But before that, I'm driving, I see blue lights behind me, and I'm like, oh Lord. And it's 8 o'clock and it's a school night. So I'm like, I am either going to be off the hook, get home quickly, or it's going to be some complications, and I don't know what's going to happen. What ended up happening was a couple of things. One, the police officer was African American. If it was, if it was any other color, I don't know how they would have reacted as a African American teen in a car. But just based off of that alone, like it's bad for me to already feel more comfortable with somebody who's looks like me. But the fact that I was hoping that it wasn't anybody white, it just like upsetted me because it's like I shouldn't look at color and fear who's behind the bag. I should feel protected by the police. So that's the thing that upsets me is because like when I did that, I literally thought that was the end of my life at that point.
Mm.
It's crazy.
Wow. You guys have some amazing energy, some great experiences already at such a young age. and you're using that energy and experiences for positive. I really appreciate that. Ivoryana, you and I have spoken a couple of different times, and you're working
Yes,
hard at
sir.
putting together a protest, a peaceful protest for Tuesday, July 7th. You're also calling for a blackout. Why don't you tell us a little bit
Yes.
about this event?
Okay, so basically, me, Maya, Naya, and Darnell, and Urani, we were just like going to these protests, and we're like, wait, we have to do something. Like, nothing is going on in the Proviso Township. Like, we have not been to any of these protests in Proviso. When are they going to happen? So we're like, okay, we're going to make one. Since nobody else going to do it, we're going to take the initiative. We're going to do it. So maybe 2 weeks ago, another Proviso alumni, she had one, but it didn't get the outcome that it needed to get. So we said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make one, and we're going to make sure that Oak Park, Chicago, Bloomingdale, wherever you're from, need to be here. Like, you need to support this township in general, because one thing that the Justice Troopers identified is that youth, in some cases, do not take things serious. They just look at it as another thing that's going on in the world right now, and it'll pass over sooner or later. Well, no, it starts with us, and we need to identify it now. If we can get it under control, or if we can show that we can take leadership of this issue right now, we can nip this in the bud, which should have been nipped 400 years ago. But since it's still going on, I feel like this generation needs to be the start of it. So the Justice Troopers decided that we're going to do this protest in Proviso, and we're going to march from Village of Broadview to the Village of Bellwood. Even though that is a short walk, it's a reason for that street and that walk, that short distance. One, because we just walked 4 miles the other week for Juneteenth, but it's supposed to be very hot that day, and we know that it's gonna, take energy out of people, and some youth may not be able to make it that far. So we wanted to make it accountable for youth and adults and elders, whoever wants to walk with us. So we just want to bring awareness to these white corporations that don't let black people on their board. Some corporations don't let black people, be employees there. They're not employed there, but yet we are the ones who make up the majority of their money. We spend money there. We tend to buy things that we have companies saying they don't want African Americans wearing their clothing, or they're making fun of us by making us blackface and things like that, which is very, stereotypical, and as well as heartening, because I'm spending my money here, and you acting like you don't want me to spend my money here. So the reason behind this protest is to really get behind black businesses. Like, let's cut going to some of these stores and put back into our own. Instead of going to Target, maybe go to a local food market, if that's what you need. Or instead of going to Nike, maybe see if there's a black owned, shoe store or something around that you can invest your money in, versus investing it in something where people don't show appreciation for your contribution to the company. If you make a good majority of their company, why not give back to the communities that actually help you prosper in your company? So that's
Amen.
what the thing is behind the blackout protest.
So Maya, as the co-CEO of the Justice Troopers, the blackout, is that designed for July 7th not to spend money in companies? Is that the goal?
Yeah, I think that so before last week there was a design blackout where one day you would not spend money at fast foods and the other day you wouldn't spend money at department stores and like that. So for this day, we are deciding that we are not spending any money at all and we're putting all our money into black owned businesses because they do not get the same advantages as big companies get, and grocery stores, for example, get. So with this blackout, we are asking people to spend money at black-owned businesses, and at the protest, we will be having cards of black-owned businesses so they can expand their horizons and expand their audience, so that the people at the protest are able to spend money there, and the black-owned business men and women are able to get money back for the money that is spent at large corporations that are owned by white people.
So blackout, don't support the businesses that are not supporting us, and spend your money in black-owned businesses that are supporting the Black
Yes.
community. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Darnell, I want to ask you, when you do a protest like you guys are doing, there's typically a demand. And, as Frederick Douglass once said, power is not going to concede anything without a demand. So I want to hear, what's your demand? What are you demanding that,
So
what's the change we seek in America?
the demand that that I see with the blackout is that, like, within these corporations, like, we want to make sure that equality is equal. We need to be treated equally no matter where we go, no matter what store we go to. And I feel like the way that the blackout's supposed to work, most of the time people react when they start losing money. So if they see that there's a significant drop in their money, then they're gonna realize, okay, something's wrong and we need to figure out how to resolve this problem, or else you know they're going to start shutting down some of their stores. People are going to lose jobs, but you know we've gone through the struggle before. My grandparents have gone through the struggle before. They're fine with going back to that struggle if it means that it's going to be a change later on. So we're going to do what we need to do. If that means people got to lose jobs in order for us to feel equal, then we're going to do that. If that means that we got to shut down the Target down the street, or we got to shut down the Walmart on 25th Avenue or something like that, then we'll do that to make a change. So, finance is really a big part in our government today. So if we do that, if we can, really put a dent in these big markets, then it's gonna really make them wake up as well.
Naya, I want to ask you, you guys, you got your blackout and protest plan, you got your demands that you're putting out there. You've been making the calls, you're putting out information on social media. What has been the response so far from the community, from the older people, the younger people? What's been the response?
I feel like we've gotten a lot of support from resources like you and Mayor Harvey and Mayor Thompson of Broadview and Bellwood. From us just posting on the social media alone, I feel like a lot of people have been responsive and supportive and telling us that they got us 100%. So hopefully we get a lot of people to come out in numbers that we would want, because it's for the youth. It's driven by the youth for the youth. So I feel like if we get as many youth as possible, that would be amazing. So they can, be
What, what, if, what,
educated.
if, what if you feel young and you want to come support the youth?
Oh, you can do that too. Hey, listen. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. You come walk and support with the youth. But
All right.
that's how it is, and if that's how it is, that's how it's gonna be. So.
I love it. I love it. I only have about 2 minutes left. I promised you guys we would only go about a half hour or so. Why don't we go around? I want to hear from each one of you what you want to do after high school. What will I see all of you doing, let's say in, 5 to 10 years? Ivoryana, we'll start with you and we'll go around.
Okay, in 5 to 10 years, I'm going to claim it. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a public defender for juveniles because I feel that we need to be able to, me being young, I feel like I can help right now. By in my generation right now, I want to be helpful to the next generations to come. And in 10 years, I'm pretty sure I'm sitting on someone's bench as well as still being a lawyer. So, yeah, that's what I definitely expect
All
five to
right.
10 years.
Maya?
I really am interested in the medical field, so hopefully I'll become a doctor. Not hopefully, I will become a doctor. I'm not sure yet, but I have an interest in radiology, so I'll be in school for a couple years, a long time, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Darnell, you're headed to Langston University, HBCU. So
Yes,
you're
sir.
already headed towards something great, but tell us more. Give us some more specifics.
Okay, so I'll be majoring in music education. I'll be getting my bachelor's. The plan is to just get my doctorate in music ed. It might not be fully from Langston, but it'll. My goal is to get it from an HBCU. Then I'm gonna come back to Proviso and probably do some damage with the marching band. And at the same time as that, I'm going to probably go back to school and get a degree in producing. I just dropped a single with Naya. It's called "I Am Not Your Enemy." It's on all platforms. Please go check it out. And I'm going to become a teacher by day and then a professional producer with the record label by night. And the goal is to go through Grammys one day. So yeah,
I love it. Naya.
thank you.
I've always talked about being in the medical field ever since I was little. So at first, I wanted to do nursing, um, but I think I would want to do. I want to be a pediatrician, because it's not a lot of black people in the type of industry. So I would love to work with children, and and I love children, and I want to do medical. So I said, why not be a pediatrician? So
Amen.
that's what I would like to do.
Well, I certainly believe that if you believe it, you will achieve it, and continue to work hard and do what you're doing. I know for sure all of you are going to achieve the great things that you're striving for. I appreciate what you're doing in the community. You are our leaders in the community right now as the Justice Troopers. Hey, everyone, we need to support these young leaders and get out there next Tuesday, July 7th at noon, and let's march with them. Let's march with these Justice Troopers. Support the Blackout and the Peaceful Protest that's organized by our youth. I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight and really appreciate what the work that you guys are doing in the community. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good evening and see you next Tuesday.
You too.
All right.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.